Hey, how's it going, everybody? We're gonna be talking about body counts. It's gonna be totally fine and based and red pilled. Anyway, let's go. Let's watch this stupid thing.
I guess my question is, you said that they're both women, right? So what is a woman?
A woman is anyone who wants to identify as one.
I didn't have anything to say yet.
But what is a woman?
A person?
No, but what is the definition of what is a woman?
I don't know. I'm confused now.
It was lazy when like Matt Walsh just started to do it, so this random dork doing it too doesn't make it any better. It's so dumb. What is a woman? When is a woman?
Okay, I can already tell that I'm going to get really worked up during this this video, but...
What, are you triggered, Snowflake? Are you triggered, Lauren? Has you been triggered? Tell me more.
You guys have probably seen by now the viral clips from the Dating Talk podcast, where essentially a group of, let's call them women, they're definitely not ladies, but they get together with some guys and they just talk about their
hoes. Sure, whatever, okay.
Views on dating culture, hookup culture, and romance. And oh my goodness. I'm just going to be real. If there's an argument against the 19th Amendment and giving women the right to vote, it is these ladies. So I thought, you know what, let's go through some of these.
Yeah. Based in red-pilled argument, making a joke about the 19th Amendment. Sure. It's great. It's not like people are constantly making fun of you for your advocating against your own self-interest, Lauren. It's totally fine. Also, has anybody else noticed, why does she have the Arizona, like, T logo in the paintings behind her? You know? I don't know.
And just wallow in despair at the fact that this is our society's future by and large, or at least, you know, I think it is society's future in certain parts of the country.
Which country? You don't live in America, first of all. But also, what do you care? Mind your own business. Aren't you a conservative? Just conserve yourself. Leave them alone.
Women are probably not as uncommon as I would like to think.
You could have your own opinion, but I don't think I would date a guy who would want me to have a low body count.
Sure.
So if body count doesn't matter, if it shouldn't matter, what is your body count? And that's Cynthia?
I would prefer not to say.
Okay, so you refuse to share, yet you think body count doesn't matter. Thus,
because if I say, I'm going to be judged.
Even though you guys say body count doesn't matter, your refusal to share it would indicate to me that it matters.
No, not to them. It matters to other people, and they will treat them bad if they decide to share. Like, it's a common thing. It's so utterly dumb to make this argument because we know there's an entire culture of dudes who will think if a woman has had a lot of partners that she's a slut. Like, it's bizarre to me.
You know it matters, and that's why you refuse to share it.
It doesn't matter to me, but it matters to you guys. So I'm not going to go and put myself out here and say my body count just for you two to ridicule me.
Based. She's right. Based.
There is a theme across all of the just dumpster fire takes you hear from this podcast from these women. It would be double standards. It seems like the young ladies, they are...
It's not like they created the double standard. What are you talking about? Like, they didn't create the double standard. Conservatives did. Well, society did at large. I mean, you can even use the P word. Patriarchy, or whatever. But it has existed. The double standard exists. They didn't make it. They are responding to it, living with it.
For the show have absolutely no sense of consistency or holding themselves accountable to their own standards.
Yeah, neck yourself because I want you to ignore reality and hold to some virtue that I pretend to believe in. Okay, Lauren.
And this host is absolutely right. If these women really don't believe that body count should matter, they should have no problem divulging theirs. Because
what's your body count, Lauren?
It's like, why does it matter? I mean, I don't think it matters. Let's say that, I had ice cream this past weekend. So I'm fine to tell you guys I had ice cream this weekend.
Is there a double standard about ice cream, Lauren? Is there? Maybe there isn't? Oh, okay. Maybe shut up. I don't know. What's your body count, Lauren?
Something isn't shameful, then it's not something you need to hide. But I think deep down, at the core of whatever few brain cells these women have, they know that a high body count is not a desirable thing because the best predictor of future behavior is relevant past behavior. And you know what?
That is totally incorrect. People don't change. They never change. People never change their behaviors based upon learning and going through traumas. Never. It's so dumb. Like, can it inform it? Sure, of course, but...
If you are a woman and you've slept with a lot of guys kind of can tell that, hey, this might not be the most loyal long-term partner I can have because...
Fucking a lot of people doesn't have anything to do with loyalty. Being disloyal has everything to do with loyalty. That doesn't have to have anything to do with sex.
Look at their previous dating history. And so maybe, if a long-term relationship, monogamy is something that I care about, might make sense to, date someone who has a lower body count or...
That does not track in any logical way at all. There is no logic to that at all. That is falsely attributing things and make-believe.
Or, you know what, if they have a high body count, hopefully those numbers were done in the past and they've had enough time in between that where they can show that they have changed and matured. I think
That's a great way to attract a mate. I need you to show and prove to me that you're not a slut anymore. Good idea, Lauren. Good idea.
Ladies know deep down that a good guy is going to care, and that is exactly why they are not divulging it. And you know what? That's fine.
There are so many desperate, lonely incels that are masturbating to this video all the time. I swear.
If you want to sleep with the world, which it seems pretty likely that these women are doing, but it's like, at least be consistent about it. Like, you are making bad choices, that's fine, but acknowledge that you are hurting yourself.
Having a lot of sex is not necessarily a bad choice. That right there is a slip up. That's accidentally letting the mask slide off. And the real message of sex is bad. Sex, unless I approve of the kind of sex you're doing, it's bad. Yeah. That's what it is.
Well, I'm not saying that to shame anybody.
Yes, you are!
I'm actually saying this out of love
you are!
for these women in the...
I love you, that's why I hate you. I love you, that's why I'm going to judge you. Oh, okay, sure.
Hopes that they do better. But speaking of double standards, one thing that is very clear is that these women all tend to have a very inflated sense of self-worth.
I need a prop mirror. Fuck.
They believe that men should be falling over their feet just with the opportunity to talk to them. But heaven forbid they try to improve themselves or try to impress a man because that would be beneath them, I suppose.
It's like a week of talking, and then he was like, let's hang out. And I was like, do I? And then I literally told him, convince me. And then he convinced me. Yeah.
If you were talking to a guy and he said, convince me to date you, what would your response be to that?
I wouldn't even respond. Maybe like a laughing emoji.
I would do the same, and I would just not respond.
Yeah, I mean, sure, double standards, but these double standards exist, is what it is.
Not respond as well.
I would not respond. LOL.
I wouldn't respond.
No respond.
So just the idea that you would tell someone flat out, convince me to date you, I think shows a level of entitlement that I just can't even believe. But
yeah, I wouldn't want to date them. If somebody was like, you need to convince me to date you, I wouldn't respond. I wouldn't. Simple as that. I'd be like, okay, LOL. But I mean, that's a choice. That's the choice that you can make. Like, if somebody says something stupid to you, you can respond however you want.
I mean, at its core, when it comes to courtship, both parties should be trying to impress the other and show the other, hey, this is how I can take care of you or nurture you. This is what I would have to bring to the relationship, because ideally you should be trying to win the other person over. Whether you're a man or a woman, you should be trying to show them.
What if they just want to fuck? What?
this is the type of life you can expect with me, and it would be a good one. You know, the fact that these women expect that for the rest of their lives, men will just throw themselves at them, I think shows just a level of delusion as to the reality of the world that is approaching for these women. You know, I hope that as they get older, they mature a little bit and see that it's not all about them when it comes.
Man, when Lauren hits 35 and that hormone changes, oh boy. I hope she's still doing YouTube when that happens. That's going to be fun.
Comes to, I don't even want to say relationships because I doubt these women are actually in relationships, but, you know, male to female interactions. Let's say, oh my goodness, man, if you see any women on dating apps or at the club, the kids maybe say, run fast and run far. But we have more clips to go over. First, though, I do want to say thank you to today's sponsor, the one, the only, Raid.
God, what the fuck? How long is her raid? Okay. It's not, it's only like a 2-minute one, it looks like. Yeah. This is so funny. I got a strike on my YouTube channel, on my second YouTube channel. That's why we're not streaming on there right now.
Of the trashiest tastes in men. Like, these women are not going after good men, which I guess is a positive thing because, you know, you're less likely to encounter one personally if you are a good guy. But I mean, just listening to this woman and imagine if you were her father hearing her say this. Her father's probably not in her life. I'm just going to put it out there, but imagine.
If I wanted to
Totally normal. Very nice. Very working with kindness there. Sure.
date with a guy who's single and he's not fucking any other girls, then I would be like, well, why isn't he? Like, what's wrong with him? Obviously, there's been some flags going off for other girls to make them avoid the situation. So, I mean, like, I personally would be like more inclined to want to go on a date, at least a first date.
With a guy who's
the guy who's like normal. Yeah, who's like hooking up with girls and I'm hooking up with guys. Like, I mean, I feel like that's dating in 2022. Like,
there are just so
I mean, in some areas, like, yeah, I suppose that makes some sense, you know, like if you're in college hookup culture does tend to have that kind of a situation going on. I mean, nothing about this should really be that shocking. Not really. But would I necessarily agree with that? Not really. I don't really tend to think about when I was dating people, I didn't really tend to think much further than just like, do I like this person? Do I want to penetrate this person? Do I want to spend my precious time with this person? That's it, you know?
So many things wrong with the way that these women approach dating. Like, I wouldn't even know where to begin if I were some sort of life coach with them. And it's like, these women are so encased in an echo chamber of, frankly, slutty, trashy, promiscuous behavior. Like,
an echo chamber of slutty, promiscuous behavior. Just triggered my AI. A blank chamber of slutty, promiscuous behavior. Okay, but look, are they though, or are they just in a culture that pushes that sort of thing, like a hookup dating culture, early 20s, college culture, that sort of thing? I mean, you can't really be talking about people being stuck in an echo chamber when your life is sitting in your little home studio and regurgitating things from like a flowchart of conservative responses. It's very dumb. Very, very dumb. I mean, you can be like, this is not the life for me. And hey, I think that they're going to think about things differently when they're older. Sure, fine, whatever, fine. But like, that's where they're at. That's where they're at.
They can't even imagine that not everyone lives the same lifestyle they do, where you're just like going to the club, swiping on Tinder.
Wait. So they can't imagine people living a life like they do. Well, that's because that's the life that they're leading. And projection, again, Lauren, if you're not living the life that they do, of course you're not going to share the same. Oh my God.
And I don't know, immersing yourself in chlamydia. It's like, no, there are plenty of people out there, men and women, who just want to settle down and start a family. And these are people who aren't just having hookup after hookup after hookup, going through people as if they were bottles of water. No, there are people out there who actually want to invest in personal relationships with people. And, you know, if you're
And there are some who don't. And there are some who don't. The unspoken statement here, I think that has to be the thumbnail. That's good. The unspoken statement here is that, in Lauren's mind, that's bad and should not happen. That's it. It's just authoritarian, conservative shame. That's all it is.
Man or a woman, just know that not everybody who is, young and single has the same approach to dating that these women do. Like I said before, this mentality is unfortunately, I think, getting more and more common, but don't lose hope. Good people are out there. And I wish, I had the power to remove these women from, I think they're in LA, and put them like somewhere in the Midwest, or heck, even here in Tennessee, where they could just like live among normal people for a little.
She moved to Tennessee? I thought you still lived in Canada. What are you doing in my country, you disgusting Canadian? Ew. Also, I'm going to be in Tennessee, like, at the end of April. That's interesting. Yeah, okay. Look, there are universities in the Midwest. There are universities in Tennessee. And this kind of culture exists there. Right now. This make-believe of, like, it only happens in LA is very dumb.
A little bit, because I feel like they're in an environment that is just reinforcing all of these bad behaviors. And that's like the mom part of me talking about like how I would want to fix them. But if you're like a single guy, you don't need to fix these women. You just need to get as far away from them as possible. And something else that I really noticed through all these clips is that these women, they also, I mean, frankly, a lot of them are pretty mid. Like, let's be real. These are not Victoria's Secret supermodels, but...
Here comes the body shaming. Gotcha. I want to know if they actually talk about the body count any further. I thought that, because that was like what was in the thumbnail. But I guess they're not really talking about it too much. Yeah, tell us about how they're mid, Lauren.
They're acting as if they are God's gift to man, which is really strange. Like, they are expecting men to be, I don't know, who's a good-looking guy. My husband, Liam, and they're
Your
like...
husband, Liam, is a good-looking guy? Really? Yeah. Okay, sure. Yeah. Whatever you say, Lauren.
Like, I mean, I'm sorry, but a lot of these women, it's like...
I'm sorry. No. Nah, man. Listen, you don't get to get away with that one, all right? You don't get to get away with that one. Your husband is one of the most mid people on the planet, all right? Mid. Your husband is mid, and your husband has to like use voice changers so his voice is deep. Mid. Not even regular mid, fake mid. Oh, you don't like that? You don't like it when people are judgy about looks? Weird. Isn't it weird how it's kind of a jerk maneuver to be judgy about people's looks? Weird. Mid. Painfully mid.
Okay, honey, you're a 5 on a good day, and you have these high standards for men. I mean, I just don't think long term that's going to work out for these girls.
You guys are so shallow. I do prefer someone over 6.
So what's the minimum? What's the minimum?
Minimum.
How tall was your
11? I'm 5'2". I like a 6'4" guy.
6'4"?
Yes, because
5'2",
my
6'4".
last relationship, I was with a 6'4" guy.
By the way, they're
and
not going to see you there.
He was so big, like perfect height.
Exactly. Even though I may be like 5 feet tall, nothing less than 5'10". Nothing like that's just like even though I am 5 feet tall, right? Imagine somebody that's only like 5'4". I would look like I'm in a middle school relationship. That just looks so weird. Like
R.I.P. 5'4"
like,
dudes.
Yeah, sorry.
Not gonna make it.
No.
NGMI.
That's not gonna work.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'6".
So
6'3" and above.
6'3" and above.
Whoa.
By the way, 6'3" and above, that's only 1% of men, just letting you guys know.
I'm fine being single.
It's good that last girl says she's fine being single, because odds are that is what she will be long term. And it's like,
nah. Okay. So you thought Liam was attractive? Well, there you go. There you go. Hide your man, Lauren. Hide your man. Look, the whole height thing is pretty interesting because it's true. There does trend a thing where women like very tall men. Not all women, but many. That's true. It also is one of those things that's kind of like reinforced and supported by society and tropes and trends and all that sort of thing. But the truth of the matter is like that one guy said, only 1% of men in the country are about that tall or taller. So good luck, which also means, yes, they're probably going to end up, statistically speaking, with people who are not that tall. That's why it's not really worth worrying about that much, you know. If somebody's going to be kind of shitty about it and be like, nah, you're too sharp, well, they're too shallow anyway, and then, of course, you wouldn't want to date them anyway. Simple as that. No joke, the content that Lauren is highlighting is really laser focused on men who are frustrated they can't find a partner. Men can be just as picky as women. True. Absolutely. Very, very true. I have been known to be quite picky in the past as well.
Like, I'm all for having high standards for yourself. You should have high standards. Ladies, have high standards where it matters. Something like height that a guy can't change. I'm not saying date someone you're not attracted to, because you should be attracted to your partner, but it's like, you know, if there's a great guy who has good values, but he's like 5'9", or heck, you know what, even 5'7", are you really gonna turn your nose up at a life with someone who will love you and support you just because you wanted...
They are not looking for a life. They're looking for a big, big, strong, like Viking man to pound them flat. That's what they're looking for. They are not looking for a life partner. They're looking to get smashed. Okay? And probably because they just really have never come across somebody who's very, very powerful yet shorter, or at least average height, because they're talking about pretty tall people. They have this assumption. That's what it is. But, like, this doesn't make sense to Lauren, and it probably won't until she hits 35 and hits that hormonal shift, that she will quite understand how powerful the attraction of just being flattened, just turned into fucking toothpaste, okay? Like, that's what they want. They do not give a shit about who's going to be my spiritual partner in Christ. They don't care. They don't care. That's what they want, okay? Come on.
A few more inches of height, that's ridiculous, and that type of shallowness ultimately will bite these women in the behind once they get older. And it's like, through all of these clips, we see these women making really bad decisions for their long-term dateability. One example is OnlyFans. There are some women who are on this podcast who are on OnlyFans.
People under 6 feet can definitely flatten you too. Absolutely. I fucking will destroy someone, and I'm only 5'9". Oh no. Like, who gives a shit? It's so dumb. But if they are younger and they do not understand that, and they are still encapsulated by the tropes and the pressures of, like, you know, and the environment, the experience of being like in hookup culture or in college, you know, that's the kind of thing that they're going to automatically default to. It's wrong, or at least it's just not fully correct. You know, but whatever. They'll figure it out.
And they take offense to the idea that, hey, like with the body count thing, maybe a man might actually have standards in how his girlfriend behaves.
If any young women are watching, please do not model your lifestyle after her. Thank you very much.
And that's from the Christian man.
Yes, I'm looking out for you young ladies.
I'm not judging you.
That's fine. But if you ever want to get married, there's a lot of young girls out there who want to get married someday. If pictures of yourself doing sexual things are all over the internet, your husband and your kids will not appreciate that.
What are your kids going to think of this?
I think Northwest is doing just fine.
Northwest.
Yeah, she's living her life.
Kanye's,
Yeah, she's doing great with her mom.
I mean, given the option between a mom who has porn on the internet versus one who doesn't have porn on the internet, I would prefer if all of my friends couldn't see my mom f***ing other dudes and sucking their dicks.
I still consider myself a Christian. She was hot, though. I still consider myself a Christian. I believe that Jesus died on the cross for my sins, and I'm not a judgmental person like you.
Okay,
Okay, you know what? Nothing in the Bible says you can't do OnlyFans. It isn't there. It isn't there. I've read the Bible many times. Yet to find any passage that says you can't do OnlyFans or do porn. Like, and she's like, I'm still a Christian. I don't believe in judging people, et cetera, et cetera. That is actually a much more Christian, like, perspective than I'm going to judge you. Yeah, judge not, lest ye be judged. 100%. Now, let's hear what Lauren has to say about that.
Girl, she is not a Christian. I don't think she's really put a lot of thought into her.
Ooh, are you judging her on her Christianness, Lauren? How Christian of you. Fascinating. One of the core tenets of not judging people. And you're like, I'm going to judge them about how they don't judge people. Fascinating. Fascinating. Why is it perpetually that I and also my fellow sluts are such better Christians than Christians? It's so weird. It's so strange. It's so weird.
Theological beliefs, but that whole, oh, well, Jesus died, therefore I can do whatever I want. That is not the message of the Bible, ladies.
That's not what she said. And that actually is what that means.
You should be turning away from sin. Christians aren't perfect because nobody is. But belief in Jesus is not an excuse to sin. And if you think that, I would really question my own salvation if I were you. But that guy who was, I guess, laying down.
Yeah, if you do your penitence wrong, if you ask for forgiveness the wrong way, I think you're gonna go to hell. Okay, there's a reason why people call you a Christofash, Lauren. All right, it's so dumb.
Down some truth bombs. He is someone that I now follow on Twitter. He's become kind of a meme. He just shuts these harpies down. I love it. He is at Sovereign Bra on Twitter. So he's actually in some other viral clips that I want to look at because you can tell that these women have never been confronted with, I guess, I don't know, the idea of like holding themselves to any type of standard before, because you could tell in these other.
Liam better watch out. There's this hardcore Christian dude shutting down the hose, and it just makes Lauren so excited. So excited. Better start keeping an eye out, Liam.
Clips that when this guy tries to put them in their place, it's almost like they short circuit.
If I find a girl that I want to make my wife, and I find her super attractive.
Your wife. Okay.
Yeah, because that's what I would do. I would make her my wife. I would ask her to marry me and then make her my wife. You say you are a feminist. You're 100% a feminist.
That is feminist.
You heard me say that.
I want to make her my wife. Like.
Yeah, because that's what I would do.
It's like I'm an equal human, a woman.
What
It's not about you
say that
to make her your wife.
Obviously, she would want to be my wife.
She has her own life. She wants to be your wife too.
Yeah, of course, but she's not going to.
She wants to go to the club. She wants to do her makeup.
No, she's not going to want to go to clubs. She's not going to want to go to clubs. No,
she does.
Because here's the thing: that's a non-negotiable for me in marriage.
Okay, well then,
if I find a woman, if there's plenty of women out there that don't want to go to clubs all the time.
Okay, well.
There's plenty of women out there that don't want to go to clubs in tiny little dresses and get hit on by guys.
This woman is so far down the like LA lifestyle rabbit hole, she can't even imagine that there's a woman who doesn't want to go to clubs. Plenty of women don't want to go to clubs. Okay.
Yeah, they're usually hot goth chicks that want to like stay home, play video games, and fuck around, you know. But I have a feeling that that's not necessarily gonna fit his niche. Now, maybe that guy will find the right kind of person, but I don't really think he actually is living the life that he tries to espouse. Most of those like Christian, you know, fundy dudes they're just as much sex pests as anybody. It's so bullshit. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, hot goth chicks. Fuck yeah. Hail Satan. Let's do it. And if they want to go to the club, it's not the same kind of club. It's the kind of club where everything's extremely dark and there's always a flashing light and everybody's dancing like this and drinking absinthe, you know? And if they're not doing this, then they're in the corner at a booth going like this. Brood. You know? Way different. Way different. Also annoying, but, you know, a lot less, you know, whatever. I don't know. I thought it was really interesting. I thought they were going to be talking about body count more, but I don't know. The main thing one of the reasons I was attracted to the video itself was because of the body count thing. because I think it's really fascinating. Somebody having had a lot of sexual partners in the past doesn't necessarily mean anything about what their behavior is going to be currently. Not really. A lot of people go through huge diametric shifts in their life and they change their behaviors. Maybe they got all that fun out and they're like, I want something substantial and lasting, and that's good. I will say, if somebody does have a history of infidelity, like actually dating and infidelity, that is something that sometimes can be a concern, and a valid concern, because getting cheated on it really sucks. It hurts really bad. So I can understand why some people would want to be guarded about that. That's okay. But yeah, like having a lot of partners or not having a lot of partners doesn't necessarily have to mean a damn thing. A damn thing at all. And I'm interested in what Lauren's body count is, only because she's so judgmental about other people's body count. I, for the record, cannot. I don't know what my body count is. I don't know. I don't know. The last time I tried to remember, it was over 30. And I was like, okay, I think I got the right number. And then, like, as I was going through the day, I was like, oh, yeah. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, I remember that. Okay. And then that happened, like, a few times. I'm like, fuck. So, like, sometimes having a high body count comes with its own degree of, like, psychic damage. Because it doesn't necessarily mean that they were good. Because a lot of them cannot be good. Some of them can be really bad. And we shouldn't be, like, shaming people because we don't know their fucking struggles. That might be its own punishment. I've got like 3 of them in my mind right now, and I'm like, I'm not going to tell you anything about them, but it's enough for me that I'm... Oh, it is not a brag. Oh, God. Okay, I think I need a drink. I'm done with this video. Fuck this. Bye-bye.